Yeah.
Then I present about rehabilitating family farming, a condition for agroecological transition. In fact, what I will present is a work which is not yet achieved. It is a reflection that I share with you in order to further and future dipping. Then I began with an introduction, some aspect of the multidimensional crisis of agriculture, of Tunisian agriculture. Then we debate about the possibility of agroecology to be a solution for faced with this crisis, and I finish by a conclusion. In fact, agroecology is increasingly recognized as a tool, as a manner of social transformation, especially in response of the disastrous productivist model. Then agroecology can be defined as a set of agriculture practices that seeks way to improve agriculture system by minimizing natural process, thereby creating beneficial biological interaction and synergy between components of the agro system. In this regard, agroecology transforms agriculture productive, making it more suitable, more productive, more remunerative, more attractive, and more varied. But as Altieri noted, agroecology is not a scientific or technology program. It is a political project of resistance and survival. It is a science, a practice, and a movement. In Tunisia, agriculture faced many challenges. It is precisely a question about taking up the double challenge of producing more. You have to produce more to feed people, but under the constraint of few resources in increasingly restrictive condition. Then faced with this difficulty encountered by conventional intensification, particularly in the extensive form, agroecology can provide global response to the challenge that agriculture is called open to face. In this context, several projects and experiments have been undertaken within the framework of research and development projects. However, the transition to a large scale remains limited. Agroecology, we note especially that agroecology is often reduced to its technical aspect without questioning the dominant agro-exporter model, favoring large capitalist farm, highly inclusive and highly integrated in the world market, and pushing into precarity peasant and family farmers. Then, despite some changes in agriculture development model, this model is still characterized by first, the secondary place of agriculture, and it is instrumentalization according to the requirement of international division of labor, especially agriculture have to supply cheap food in order to maintain low labor wage. Second, the confidence placed in the large capitalist farms, while the peasantry was considered in its vast majority as a force of inertia, a break on agriculture modernization. And the third characterization, that the modernization of agriculture as usually conceived as a problem of sample adapting of the performance technology to ensure efficiency and profitability. These characteristics have become more visible since the mid-1918 with the neoliberal turn and the confirmation of the agro-export model, which seems to be reaching these limits. In fact, agriculture is going through a crisis which took a rather worrying dimension from the beginning of the 2000, and which gradually deepened to reach its climax in with the global crisis, global food crisis. This crisis is not the first by the agriculture sector and the rural world, but it is characterized by its activeness and it is multi-dimensional and systematic nature. At the economic level, especially, we know the continuous deterioration of agriculture terms of trade, linked to pricing policy, especially, which is not offset by an improvement in yields and therefore a deterioration in the income of agriculture producer, a stagnation in the production of agriculture, especially for basic product, and then an increase in import and strengthening of the country's food dependence. Added to this, the level of unemployment in agriculture and rural region, which has reached alarming level. At the social level, rural areas generally display development indicators below those of urban area in terms of poverty, unemployment, level of expenditure, and per capita income. In general, the rural population experience a higher level of precarity in terms of access to productive resource and certain social services such as water, basic health, education. And disparity in income and distribution between region and between social group remain a major feature, and the rural population and farmer continue to be the most affected by poverty, with their situation worsening. At the environmental level, decreases on the rural world and agriculture has a the environment dimension which affects the sustainability of sector, especially an overexploitation and degradation of water resource. Note that agriculture sector is the main user of mobilized water resource, about 82%. It is therefore increasingly confronted with the scarcity of resource and competition from other sectors. We note also a process of desertification and degradation of land cover and soils. According to official report, we estimate that desertification and soil degradation affect approximately 75% of the national territory, and that each year more than 20,000 hectares are degraded. This is linked to agriculture practice, but also to climatic condition. Then the challenge that the Tunisian agriculture faces is to produce more with a few resources in increasingly restrictive condition. In this context, ecological intensification can be a response to such a challenge, reconciling the improvement of productivity and the preservation of natural resources, and the environment requires the adoption of a form of intensification which is based more in the biological mechanism internal to agro system and the abandonment of the meaning mobilization of natural resource. At this level, agroecology can provide a global resource. But one of the main characteristics of agriculture, of Tunisian agriculture, it is structural heterogeneity, in particular the importance of family and peasant structure. We know that 75% of farms have an area of less than 10 hectares. 95% of private land is operated in direct tenure mode. 19% of agriculture workforce is family. And if you consider farmers that exclusively employ family labor, they represent almost 78% of all farmers and occupy nearly 45% of the total agriculture area. Then Tunisian agriculture is fundamentally, especially family and peasant agriculture. But this diversity of structure is not taken into consideration by public policy and development project. If you consider public policy, here we refer to two main documents. The first is the document of Ministry of Agriculture, Strategy for Development and Conservation of Agricultural Land, published in 2017. And the second document is published by the Ministry of Environment about ecological transition. But reading this document, we constate that there is a conceptual ambiguity. Concepts such as agroecology, resilient agriculture, conservation agriculture, smart agriculture are used to designate the same thing when the concept do not have the same content. Second, the document considers farmers in general, They do not consider the diversity of structure and operating logic. They don't distinction between large capitalist farm and small peasant and family farmers. And third, they are part of the continuity of the existing model and consider the same objective for agriculture policy. While dealing with agroecology, this public policy document maintains the same objective of development strategy, such as efficiency, profitability, competitiveness, export, integration on the world market, and global value chain. Considering development project, 26 projects or agroecology related initiatives are listed over the period of 1999 and 2022. These projects are implemented by national agency with foreign financial and technical assistance like FAO, GIZ, IFAD. But this project focuses primarily on large farms with significant technical and financial resources. And then if this farm, a large farm, adopts certain agroecological practices, most of it's only for the project period. There is no durability in adapting agroecological practices. In fact, large capitalist farms are guided by the logic of profit maximization, and therefore agricultural practice and technique are selected solely according to this objective. But on the other side, some survey conducted near peasant and family farmers in certain regions of the country, like the oasis of Gebes and Billi and the region of Kurwan. The result of the survey showed that family and peasant farmers have always autonomously adopted agroecologic practice, crop production and system diversification, organic fertilization, crop rotation and succession, livestock feed based on pasture. This practice based on a local know-how as part of a logic of survival and the fight against climatic hazard, but also economic concerns imposed by market, by input supplier, agro-industry, and commerce. This initiative remained limited because of limited access to land, to finance and support service, the lack of independent peasant organization, and other factors. And as a conclusion, we can conclude that agroecology can be a response to the multidimensional crisis of Tunisian agriculture, provided that is not reduced to a set of agroeconomic techniques. Then it is necessary to rehabilitate peasants and family farmers as a key actor of agroecological transition. But this implies an overhaul of agriculture development policy and model, especially break with neoliberal policy and the agro-export model. Agroecology must be considered as a political project, as a part of political project of food sovereignty. Thank you.